But it's something we were all impressed with in his rookie year, right? His ability to deal with difficult days, weeks, games, whatever it was. You know, he'd have a bad day in training camp, in his quarterback battle a season ago with Cam Newton. He'd bounce back the very next day. He'd have a bad week, especially early in the year, and bounce back. I don't know that he did that as much late in the season last year. But grit, an underrated characteristic for Mac Jones, says Phil Perry. It's Adam Jones, Christian Arcand, Scott Zolak live from Vegas in advance of the Patriots and the Raiders. Do you think that's a defining characteristic rather of Mac Jones? Is that something that I don't know, can help separate him from some of his other quarterback brethren? Maybe not at the top of the league, you know, the other elite established quarterbacks, but the other young quarterbacks.
Yeah, like the Derek Carrs of the world, for example.
Something that can differentiate him.
Yeah, when you threw that to break there, Jones, you say, okay, there's an opinion as to what people across the country think of Mac Jones. So I started to think of, you know, like Derek Carr, because we're out here. I thought of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was one of the first guys to get $28 million fully guaranteed, you know, each year for 4 years. Jones surprised me last year with his toughness. I don't know if surprise is the right word, because I didn't know him. I never really watched him. I watched him a couple times at Alabama. But I saw the kid get the living S kicked out of him at times. That Dallas game, he almost got decapitated about 4 times on just cold bird misses. But he hung in there. And I saw him get up uneasy several times. Buffalo got him pretty good. There are some other teams that hit him well. And he gets up and he shakes it off. And that's not easy to do. That's a quality that you have to have that, you know, coaches can't teach you. It's just a feeling. Brady was so good at it. Brady always played hurt. You never heard about the injuries. That's what I like about him. I do. I think he's tough. Arm strength, we'll see. He got bigger and stronger, right? He put on weight and bulked up a little bit this offseason. We'll see how that affects, you know, the in cut, the curl route. Can he zing the ball, you know, on a deep comeback? I thought the dime he threw the other night, the 45-yarder to Aguilar, was a great ball because he had a great pocket. He was able to step up, and from a functionality standpoint, his mechanics were really good. He talked about that a week ago, that he needs to be able to step up. I don't know if that was a shot at the offensive line, like, hey, we need to shore it up better up front. But I think when everything's in rhythm and time, I think he's pretty darn good, and I think they can function at a high level with him.
So ESPN, Zoe, put out a quarterback council, okay, where the experts rank the top 10 in 12 different skill sets. What are you snickering at over there?
No, I'm just like, here we have the experts. Let's put the experts in. Let's put a council together. Let's do some creative programming here.
Do you want to hear who the council members are?
It's like your dong report here. You know?
You want to hear who the council members are? It's like an episode of Survivor here. Here's your council.
Pass around the talking stick.
Exactly.
Who's your favorite? Number 25. Let's go.
Matt Bowen, was he a teammate? Not of yours, I guess, but was he here in New England briefly at the beginning of his career? I'm trying to remember. Matt Bowen, Tim Hasselbeck.
Rings a bell. Yep.
Okay, you're familiar with him. Mina Kimes.
Very friendly with him. Yeah. Yep. She's played a lot.
Mina Kimes. Okay, so that's you're okay.
No,
so we're down.
I don't mean it like, oh, you shouldn't have a comment if you didn't play, but if Tim Hasselbeck says something, or David Carr, who's Derek's brother, you know, talks about it, or Kurt Warner talks about those guys played the position, I listen to them. You know,
okay,
that's all.
Others.
Matt Bowen was drafted the pick before Tom Brady.
Oh, the good pick.
Wow.
Matt Miller and Jordan Reed are both draft analysts there at ESPN.
Okay.
Lou Riddick, Mike Tenenbaum. Those were a couple of NFL front office guys. You're snickering, but those guys at least worked in the league.
Mac for MVP. Tannenbaum.
Evaluated talent.
Yeah, Tannenbaum was in a room when Parcells cut me, so that's why I chuckled at him. It wasn't me. It was Bill.
Well, we know where all the Mac votes came for with Tannenbaum on this thing. Seth Walder, Field Yates, and Aaron Schatz and Derek Klassen of Football Outsiders. So I'd acknowledge. I mean, so you might be onto something. Not exactly, you know, who's who of heavy hitters of decision makers and evaluators there.
It's funny. Tannenbaum's held with high regard in Mac Jones because he's the first one to say you got to pay Cam Newton $30 million after the Seattle game. 2 years, $60 million. Get the deal done now.
He seems just like whoever Bill's quarterback is, it seems. So anyway, I'm looking at the different categories here. And again, they have 12 different categories for these quarterbacks. And spoiler alert, Mac Jones isn't in the top 10 in any of them. Now, he gets votes in a number of them. But for instance, arm strength, There were 10 guys in the top 10, obviously. There were 10 more who received votes. Mac Jones is at least 21st in arm strength in the NFL, right? So that's a way to look at it. He does show up in a few categories, though. He gets votes in accuracy, but he's behind, guys like Derek Carr is in the top 10. He's behind Kirk Cousins, names like this.
Kyler Murray after the playoff game last year. That's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Behind him.
Look.
I'd take Mac over those three right there.
As a quarterback or just in terms of accuracy? You take him over Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
I take him over none of them, but you take him over Kyler Murray?
Accuracy-wise, I think I might.
I hear good stuff and I hear bad stuff on Murray from people in the game. That's all.
Okay, but just to be clear, just to be clear, you're taking Mac Jones over Kyler Murray for accuracy or as an overall quarterback?
No, it's like if I'm the coach and I got to go play a 17-game season, I'm taking Jones.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I would absolutely not do that.
I'll take Mac in accuracy. I wouldn't take him over Murray.
Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins are closer, but I'd still take both of them over Mac today. You got to win a game today. I'm taking both of them over him. Mac also showed up in, let's see, touch.
You're so creative, Jones. You're so creative. Like, if you had to win a game today, you'd take them. I said for the season, I love when you twist your little arguments.
No, for the season, for this whole season, I'd take Derek Carr over Mac, wouldn't you? Well, obviously, you said no, but I think most people would. I think that's consensus logic. Yeah. Not to say that the consensus is always right, but I think most people would.
Yeah, I've seen enough of Carr.
Okay, he was in the play.
Let's see what Josh does with him getting the best receiver in the league and a top 3 tight end. Yeah?
I think he was a higher seed than Mac last year in the playoffs, but okay, fine.
With an interim coach.
Touch is another area where Mac Jones received votes but was not in the top 10. Right. Again, behind Matt Ryan receiving votes. Kirk Cousins was 7th on that list, behind some of those names. He was right alongside Derek Carr. Let's see, where else did he show up in receiving votes? There's plenty where he didn't get any votes whatsoever. Here you go. Decision-making with the football, he showed up. His toughness, he showed up, receiving some votes. His pocket presence, things like this. A lot of what I would describe as the intangible ones, though, and then the accuracy and touch, those sort of things. That's where he showed up. I wonder, again, why people around here are so high on Mac Jones when he doesn't show up on any of these lists. He doesn't show up on any of them. So, is he a starting quarterback in the NFL? Sure. But at the end of the day, people kind of think he's Derek Carr or Kirk Cousins. And I don't think that's worth getting all that worked up over. I really don't.
Well, what's interesting here, too, look at the money that those two guys are making. You're going to get to a point here. If he keeps trending in the right direction, Jones, meaning, does he get better every year? And that's going to be the big observation. Does he get to 10 wins again? Does he get to 11 wins this year? Do you get better next year? You're going to have to pay him. You have to pay him a lot of money. Do they want to do that? That's the market. Get ready for the Lamar Jackson contract. Get ready for all these contracts these guys are signing right now.
And the deadline.
It starts, Jones, the money that's coming in with the league and the TV money and where that's going to be in 2 years off his rookie deal. You better get to the end of his rookie deal before it gets to that end, or else you're really going to have to pay.
And this is what I'm saying. The deadline's close.
It starts at 30. It starts at 30.